Hello everybody, Shifu Cards here, and I've been playing this new card game. This was an open beta, so it's still real new. Smite Tactics. I played some yesterday, got a chance to get my feet wet, look at some things, and so today what I'm going to do, the first part of the day, is I'm just going to do a review of the game. What I thought about it, where I think it's going, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, that kind of thing. So, played it for a couple hours yesterday, kind of got my feet wet. I got the Founders Pack, which you see right there on the screen. 15 packs, 3 legendary leaders, legendary god Enyo, and it's pretty cool. I said that a lot on my stream yesterday, and unfortunately, that doesn't really tell you a lot, right? Like, what does pretty cool mean? But it's a good game. First, we'll look at the. We're gonna open a pack here, because I love opening packs. Well, I gotta go to the store, buy a pack with some of the dust. So, we're open a pack to kind of explain some stuff about the game. So, open the packs. Let's see what we got. Hopefully, we get legendary. Yesterday, the Founders Pack, I got 1 legendary, which was Medusa, which was pretty cool. Geb is a pretty cool god. I like him. He's pretty cool, especially when you partner up. You can. I'll go into the tactics in a second. Bastet from the Egyptian set. And right there at the top, you see I think this is where you see what faction they belong to. So you kind of use faction. There's an Egyptian faction, Greek faction, Norse faction. So this would be Greek up here. This is a spell, so I think this is a neutral. And this is Egyptian as well. And then there's the rarity. So commons, blues are rare, and so are uncommon, I should say. So let's go into the game. What's the game about? Well, back to the beginning here. The game is basically, if you're familiar with Smite at all, Smite is a MOBA where you picked from gods. I did get the key. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I am going to give it away here pretty soon. So thank you, man. I really appreciate that. So Smite is a game where you had gods, and you pick these gods and you fight each other in a MOBA style thing. But it's a really cool game where you had different gods, different factions, stuff like that. So they took that concept and they made it into a card game, which is very cool. And so what they have is they have up here, you have Egyptian, you have Norse, and you have Greek so far. And there's one over here to the left that's not open yet. So there's a lot to this game that's coming out that hasn't been out yet. So it's still an open beta. There's a lot of changes coming to it. It's kind of an exciting time. But you have the different factions as well as they go. So Egyptian, you have the different. There are 2 leaders right here, and they're denoted by the different card backs to everybody else. So you have Isis and you have Ra right now, and they're ranged, and that adds a lot of depth to the game as well. It's pretty cool. So one of the things I like about the game, we'll start there, is that you have, in all the other games I've played, and I've been playing card games for 20+ years. Yeah, 20+ years. So I've played a lot of games, a lot of card games. And what I've always thought about was cool about card games is a lot of things about tactics and all stuff like that. But I always wondered, like, what am I? I was trying to envision what the reality of it is. Like, am I 2 wizards out in the field shooting fireballs at each other with minions? And wouldn't it be cool if somehow these minions, when you summon them, they appeared on a kind of virtual battlefield and they would duke it out? And you yourself could be there, and you can move around. Well, that is exactly what this game is. This is a game where you actually, your character, if you're Isis or Ra, for example, you appear on a battlefield, and the creatures you summon appear on the battlefield and fight it out. And then not only that, but the creatures themselves, if they're gods, you have different abilities that they can do that you can actually control on the battlefield. Back a long time ago, I'm dating myself, but obviously you see that I'm old. There was a game called Archon, first came out real long time ago, and it was one of the. I played chess in high school, and I played football, but it was a chess game with fantasy creatures, and each side of the board had different fantasy creatures. Like there was a basilisk, there was a manticore on the bad side, and there was a unicorn and a phoenix on the good side, and basically you move these creatures in a way that they would try to get each other's king or whatnot. And that was like my favorite game ever, Archon, Archon. And if you got on the same square, it would teleport you to a battlefield where you take control of the unicorn versus the basilisk, for example. And I don't remember the rest of them. Maybe knights versus ogres. I'm not too sure. But I remember the basilisk, for example, and the manicore, the phoenix, and things like that. And it was like so cool. Well, this game is that. This game is like the super version where you can actually see it. Now, there's other card games that are kind of similar. But it's like Feria, for example, had this concept where you could put them on a battlefield and then make lands and do different things. And Feria was really cool. But Feria looks just is not the greatest look, right? It's blocky. You can't really see. This one is amazing. This one is ridiculously good in terms of visuals. So on the plus side, it's unique and it's really, really well done so far. The details, the battlefields are insane, and the gods are really cool. So for the Egyptian, you have Ra and Isis starting off. For Greek, you get Poseidon and Zeus. And I think most of Western side, or more North America, is more familiar with the Greek mythology. We had to study it at some point. So this had more familiarity to me. So Zeus, Poseidon, everybody kind of knows them. And then you have different gods. So you have Medusa. This is the legendary I got. And she can be playable with either a Zeus or Poseidon deck. So you make a Zeus or Poseidon deck, you slap Medusa in it, you slap Thanatos or Aphrodite in it, and then they can work with you. It's really, really neat. Divine Intervention, you draw 2 random gods from your deck, which I kind of like. It's not just it's random, but it's who you have in there. I haven't unlocked everybody, as you see. Touch of Midas, Forge a God, that's pretty cool. And they don't have a lot of cards. That's pretty much it. That's 13 cards, Greek cards right now. So it's really still new. So they're kind of building to it, adding to it, and I kind of like that. Norse, you have Freya and Odin. A lot of people watch me do Witcher, the Gwent game, and so modern Freya is pretty funny. So I have her. I like that. I like the Norse gods. It's pretty cool. So of course, if you have Norse gods, you're going to have who? You're going to have Thor. So some people are kind of familiar with them because of comic books, Marvel and whatnot. But he was before the comic books. And then you have neutral. So you have Norse, Greek, and Egyptian right now, and then this class, which I'm not sure, this mythology, which I'm not sure what it is. So I went ahead and built one of each different faction. I have a Greek one, labeled the Greek one, Modern Freya, Mother Freya, or and then Ra Siskumba. So what I like about it, there's not a lot of cards. I like that there is, it's kind of small and focused. It's not a lot to get all the cards right now and play with them. I love the card art. I think the art is beautiful. It keeps to the style of the video game. Especially if we look at, if you play the video game, you've seen Thanatos, and he looks exactly like he does in the game. Very cool. The art is good. The cards are good. One of the things I like about it, going back, this is by the way a review of the game so far until I get the gameplay real quick. I like the I like the card unlocks. I like the leaders. Little level them up. I don't know what that gives you quite yet, but I'm kind of excited to lead those and see what that does. Hopefully, maybe a card back. That'd be cool. Something like that would be neat. I like the fact that you have different card backs. Something I loved in Hearthstone. You get different card backs you can unlock. And I'm hoping that you can unlock different card backs for specific factions, which would be really cool. And I like that you have different player icons. So that's all the pros. The gameplay is a pro, definitely. The art is a pro. That's all really, really good. So far, one of the negatives, now gets to the negatives, right? Woo, is on the disenchanting and enchanting system. I don't see a disenchant all, or I see that I have 6 of this one, for example. So if I click on it, it disenchant. Yeah. So I gotta keep on disenchanting, and then like there's no like the crafting system is a little off. It's not like too friendly. So I gotta disenchant all the way down. So that is That's somebody in the chat say it's like Cards and Castles on Steam. So I'm not sure I haven't played that. So that might be good to know. So they dismiss 5 like that. That takes that's like, oh, jeez. It is for every one of them. It should be like an all-in. And this is a new game. So I'm sure a lot of things I'm saying are not good, are going to be fixed or coming. So, you know, keep that in mind. This is by far not a final product. But definitely a disenchant all would be a nice feature. And I don't know if the enchanting to disenchanting is a good ratio. Like getting 5 dust for a blue seems a little low. So kind of that's not the greatest. Like disenchant Medusa for 80.
Do the gods think I would just sit idle and suffer? No.
I'm not going to do that, obviously.
My revenge.
I'm starting to get some dust, and so I'm going through, and let's say I got to go through each and every one of these and try to get, like some of them I have 9, for example. I'm like, oh dear Lord, I just saw one with 3. So I'm not going to do that right now because that'd be a waste of time. But there's no real good interface for crafting so far. So that's kind of a negative. There is no watch gameplay feature yet. Again, this is all still new, so I hate to give it a negative because it's probably coming. You need more cards, things like that. So there's a lot to it that could be done a little better. More cards. The rank mode hasn't really come out yet, so if you go to play, it's versus. There's a campaign that I already did. It's pretty cool. Practice, no rewards. Earn favor versus other people. So there's versus. There's gonna be ranked. Hopefully they have a legend tier like Hearthstone, which is my favorite thing. So hopefully they have one of that. So we'll see. But overall, in development, there's a lot of good things to it. It's bare bones right now, so all the features that we were looking for haven't been added quite yet. But it's not really fair to judge on that. So where it's at, they do have friend battles as well, which is nice. It's very good for where it is. It's very good for where it is. It's a lot of good potential. So I think this is a game that could be played for a while and could be a lot of fun. So